What's going on, everyone? So, Courtney Cox is officially back for Scream 7, which we all kind of knew was coming. We all knew it was kind of a matter of when, not if. She's coming back. It was just kind of a matter of time. And now that we have official confirmation that she is returning and still the only character that will be in every Scream film. Remember, Sidney Prescott and Neve Campbell wasn't in Scream 6. So, Gale, Courtney Cox, being in every Scream film is very exciting. I'm excited to see kind of what direction they go with their character. How do they kind of approach her character? However, we gotta, of course, speculate and talk and have the fun conversation of, is she or isn't she the opening scene kill? Now, you might think, no way, absolutely not. Why would they do that? Not in the opening scene. I mean, she should have died in Scream 6, if we're being honest, right? I mean, we literally watched her die for them to then tell us off camera that she survived, right? I mean, Mindy comes and runs off and is like, oh yeah, by the way, Gale survived. Like, it just like in passing, like, oh hey, in case you forgot. Yeah, so she's still alive, right? Like, it's just like, okay, I guess that's one way to go about it. Where, honestly, like, again, I'm not saying I necessarily want her to die. I'm okay with it if she does, obviously with purpose and reason. But I also kind of think it's cool that she's in like every Scream movie. I think that's something that, she could definitely hang her hat on. But it's just like, if you're going to do something like that to where we literally watch her just get like brutally stabbed and die, to like, all is good, everything's fine. It's just kind of like, I think it's also Scream 6 that like the fact that no one died in Scream 6, like the whole reason you killed Dewey was to say, hey, the bar's raised, everything's changed, this isn't the same Scream that you're used to, this isn't the same thing that you're accustomed to, right? And it's like, and then you go to Scream 6 and like, no, literally no one dies. Like Annika and then the people in the bodega and then the psychologist guy. It's like, all right, so basically no one we care about, a bunch of throwaway characters, right? Like, so it's just like, and then also in Scream 6, I really felt Gale's character was very underwhelming. I did like the scene where she got attacked, but, like, what did she do? What was her purpose? What did she serve in that film? Nothing, right? Like, the only thing that she did of substance was discover the shrine room. But even that served no point, purpose, rhyme, or reason, right? Like, literally. Like it didn't spoil Ghostface's plan in any manner where they had to like regroup and figure it out, right? Like, it wasn't like they showed up and Ghostface was there working on something or anything like that. And it's like, oh, now somebody got to like, no, it was just like, oh, hey, I found this, shows everybody, and then, whatever, 30 minutes later, Detective Maroney's, Dermot Maroney's character, Detective Bailey, there we go, is like, oh yeah, I was going to show you guys anyway, but she beat me to it. It's just like, oh, okay, so the only thing that she did of substance was nothing. Got it. I am hopeful, however, that, hey, we got Kevin Williamson back at the helm. Kevin Williamson's back. So that should be exciting in that manner. And I do kind of trust him more because, I mean, this is his character, right? So I do kind of trust him more to kind of figure some stuff out. But having her as the opening scene, I look, we've talked about it before in previous Scream, or before leading into other previous Scream films. Don't really hate the idea. Would set the tone, kind of establish what you want to establish heading into the film, right? If Gale dies, it's like anybody can die in this film, right? Like, they didn't wait for her to die, midway point or towards the end or something. No, she right out the gate, boom, done, right? Like, you really want to kind of change the narrative and set the tone for this upcoming film, that this one's different, new direction, not doing the core 4 thing, radio silence isn't involved, where everyone just walks away happily ever after. Things are getting dark, things are getting brutal, right? It's something that they've talked about, that this upcoming Scream is supposed to be darker, more intense, more brutal. Okay, that's great. How do you establish that? How do you set that tone, right? Like, a lot of people think that maybe Chad, right? Because we know Mason Gooding's back. Even better way would be Gale. take out Gale. Now, if I'm being honest, she's probably not going to be the opening scene kill. I could see her being the opening scene attack, however, right? Where, she is attacked, maybe she's stabbed or like cut on the arm or something like that and gets away, but, her friend or whatever, maybe she's having like a party and a bunch of people die and she's able to get out, and that's how Sydney finds out, and she like alerts Sydney like they're coming for us, like whatever. Maybe even Gale kind of like, it'd be kind of cool. Maybe Gale kills a Ghostface, right? Takes out a Ghostface, and then that's how she figures out the plan or whatever, and then alerts Sydney and lets Sydney know. Could be kind of interesting. But yeah, I wouldn't put it past them to have her be like an opening scene attack, but an actual kill, that I don't know. That if I'm being honest, I probably don't see that happening. That doesn't mean that I don't see her dying, period. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't be shocked if they kill her at some point. Again, there's an argument to be made that they should have killed her the last film, right? So do they kind of look at that and go, hey, like, we want this to be about Sydney and her family going forward. Another big reason why, like, again, it's all rumor, it's all speculation. Everything's rumor and speculation until it actually is true and confirmed. But a lot of the rumor and speculation going around is that, Gale is going to play a significant role in this film, that her and Sydney are going to kind of be the sort of backbone for this upcoming installment, that the two of them are going to be the ones that, kind of like this 50-50 thing where, 50% is the new characters and the new cast, but the other 50% is Gale and Sydney. And I do think, especially with, kind of the Melissa Barrera thing and, kind of everyone departing because of that, or not really because of that. I mean, Mason Gooding's back, and Jenna Ortega said she didn't depart because of that, and Jasmine Savoy Brown, we still are kind of waiting, is she coming back, is she not? But maybe she has came back by the time you watch this video, depending on when you're watching this video. But point is that, like, that kind of threw a wrench in everything. And so it's like, okay, well, what's the safest route if you're a studio standpoint? What's the safest approach, direction to go if you're a studio standpoint? It's like, okay, well, lean on the familiars, right? Lean on the ones that have been the Rock and Constant. Okay, well, that's Sydney and Gale, right? And the two of them. And if they're in this film and they're able to really have an impact and play a role, it's like, okay, well, they're the ones that can draw the audience and gives everyone that familiarity of like, okay, Sydney's back, because like I always talk about, right? You gotta put things in perspective of the casual audience and the casual viewer, right? Everyone knows that's familiar with Scream, right? Everyone that's familiar with Scream, they all know Gale and Sydney, right? They don't necessarily know Isabel May or McKenna Grace or any of these other actors and actresses that are coming in, but they see a Scream movie, they see Ghostface. Oh, hey, it's Ghostface. Oh, hey, that's the final girl from Ghostface, right? Like, that's the final girl that is in these films and whatnot, right? Like, you get people that they get it. They grasp, oh, yeah, okay, I get it now, right? Like, and so that's something that I think is, significant, right? You kind of want to have them and have that familiarity, right? To play it safe, play the safe route of like what's the best way to kind of draw in that audience. It's the best way to kind of get butts in seats, to have the best film possible. Obviously, you still got to have a good film. You can have Gale and Sydney in the film, and if the movie's trash, well, then who cares, right? My hope also is that the writing and storytelling, as well as the character development, is just better, right? Because 5 and 6, especially with like the legacy characters in 5 and 6, just really underwhelming in my opinion. And so I'd really kind of like to see them fix that, address that, correct that, kind of have better storytelling and development for Sydney and Gale and Sydney's family and Aunt Gale. Aunt Weathers is, she's here. I'm excited to see, but again, I don't think you could ever put it past Scream, we've watched enough of these Scream movies, the character that you think isn't going to die or isn't going to be in the opening scene or whatever, next thing you know, you look up, there they are. So I don't rule out that Gale would be in the opening scene. I wouldn't bet on it, right? I wouldn't count on it, but it also wouldn't shock me, especially if you really wanted to set the tone, and kind of establish what you want to establish, right? Based on kind of like what's been put out there, like darker, more brutal, no game type of Ghostface. It's supposed to be the scariest Ghostface yet. What's scarier than the first kill being a legacy character that, sets the tone that, like, hey, everybody could die. Now it's like, are they really about to kill Sydney? Like, is that gonna be a thing? Is that gonna happen? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think Gale will meet her in the opening scene? Do you want her to meet her in the opening scene? Do you think, no, absolutely not. Got to keep her alive. Too crucial, too important. Can never die. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it either way. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.